Hi guys, welcome back for another movie recap. Today, I'm going to give you an overview of the 2019 American psychological horror film called Escape Room. The story follows a group of competitive people who must work together to navigate a series of deadly escape rooms to win the grand prize of $10,000. Warning: there will be spoilers ahead, so please proceed with caution. The movie begins with a scene where a man is shown attempting to solve a riddle in order to escape a collapsing room. Zoe, a timid physics student, attends a lecture on the quantum Zeno effect hypothesis, which claims that a system cannot change while you are viewing it. Zoe's lecturer dares her to take a risk over the Thanksgiving break. Ben, who was previously seen in the collapsing room, is a grocery store stock clerk with a bad smoking habit. He is irritated by his employer's unwillingness to promote him to a better job and higher income. Jason is a young stockbroker who is well liked by his coworkers for his fast-paced, do-it-all attitude. A puzzle box is given to Zoe, Ben, and Jason. Each of them are given the box from a valued acquaintance. Zoe receives the box from her professor, Ben from his boss, and Jason is given the box by a customer at the store. A note in the box leads them to the Minnows escape room once they solve the puzzle. If they can complete the escape room, they will win $10,000. That is, of course, if they manage to escape. Amanda, Mike, and Danny, all war veterans, arrive just in time to join Zoe, Ben, and Jason in what looks like a waiting area. The door handle falls off when Ben attempts to leave the room to smoke a cigarette. At that point, they realize they are trapped inside the room. They discover what appears to be an oven temperature thermometer. Zoe raises the thermostat to 451 degrees Fahrenheit, when Mike discovers a copy of Fahrenheit 451. Embedded heat panels gradually switch on, raising the room's temperature to dangerous levels, alarming everyone except Danny, who refuses to believe the heat is real. Amanda's unease is noticed by Zoe, who tries to soothe her with water from the water cooler. A phone call is received by the group, reminding them to adhere to the set regulations. When Zoe notices a sign asking for coasters to be used for beverages, the team realizes that when they all press down on 6 coasters at the same time, an escape vent to the next room opens. Jason is the first to flee, followed by Mike and Amanda, while Zoe figures out that filling a glass with water will keep a coaster in place long enough for her to escape. Since Amanda drank a glass earlier, Ben and Danny race to cover all coasters with glasses, until there isn't enough water left. Ben pours the contents of his flask into the final glass, and the two flee just before the room is engulfed in flames. With the exception of Danny, the party is concerned about how genuine the game is becoming. When the group requires assistance, the cameras in each room do nothing. To unlock the cabin door, Jason looks for a 7-letter name that rhymes with, "You'll go down in history." Ben gets a flashback of singing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer while driving with some friends, right before a head-on crash. Just before the cabin doors and windows close, Ben offers Rudolph as the code, and the party exits the building and enters freezing conditions on a frozen stream. Jason discovers a keyless door, while the others discover a compass, fishing rod, magnet, and an ice fishing hole while searching their surroundings. When Jason recognizes a red parka that the group finds, they take turns wearing it to try and stay warm. Jason starts to become anxious. A key wrapped in an ice cube is found. They need to find a way to remove it from the frozen ice. Danny tries to grab Ben's lighter in order to melt the cube, but he accidentally falls into the cold water and drowns, taking the lighter with him. The group's morale is low. They are shook up about Danny's death. They are also concerned about how pre-arranged his death was, observing that he fell through the ice while grabbing the lighter. Fearing hypothermia, Jason persuades the gang to snuggle and melt the ice with their combined body heat. Jason is able to turn the lock once they get the key, but the door does not open. The gang makes their way across the stream to a fresh door that opens just as the remaining ice underneath them crumbles. The third area is a pool table-filled inverted bar. As soon as the party enters, the entire area rises to a new level. They see a door without a doorknob, and Mike assumes that the missing 8-ball from the pool table is the doorknob, which is concealed somewhere in the bar. A phone cable falls from the ceiling, and the call advises the group to be careful. The music starts playing, followed by a deafening dial-up tone. A section of the floor slides away each time the process is repeated. Amanda scales the back wall of the bar and discovers a 4-digit code safe. The gang discovers the required numbers in a sliding tile puzzle solved by Zoe, but they are unable to access the safe. Zoe passes out briefly and has a flashback of an aircraft disaster in which she was the lone survivor left upside down in her seat while everyone else was belted in. Mike, Ben, Jason, and Zoe cluster near the exit as the floor falls apart. To recreate the room circumstances, Zoe instructs Amanda to input the numbers inverted and backwards. Amanda succeeds in unlocking the 8-ball, but she is unable to safely cross to join the group. Amanda manages to throw the 8-ball to Jason as she plummets to her death, sacrificing herself. The group enters a hospital ward with beds that are identical to the ones in which each of the game's players were treated after being declared sole survivors. Zoe survived a plane crash. Mike was the only miner pulled alive after a cave-in. All of Ben's friends were killed after he drove drunk, and only Jason was found by the Coast Guard after his and his college roommate's boat overturned in frigid waters. Danny's whole family died of carbon monoxide poisoning, while Amanda was the only soldier in her squad to escape an IED detonation in Iraq, according to the organization. The remaining survivors learn that they all arrived in the escape room on purpose, to see who would be the luckiest of the lucky. It also becomes clear that elements of the game have been modeled around their own lives. According to a TV program, the group has 5 minutes to live unless they put their heart and soul into it. After that, the room would be flooded with toxic gas. Jason, Ben, and Mike locate an EKG machine in order to determine the best heart rate for moving on to the next room. To outwit the game designers, Zoe uses the quantum Zeno effect to deactivate all of the cameras in the room, in the hopes of discovering a way out. Jason accidentally murders Mike by shocking him with a defibrillator numerous times, believing that a rapid heart rate will rescue the group. When toxic gas enters the room, Jason connects himself to the EKG and allows the toxin to reduce his heart rate to below 50 BPM. Jason and Ben are able to escape when the door to the next chamber opens, but Zoe refuses to go with them, allegedly fainting and dying after deactivating the last camera. Jason and Ben walk into the 5th room, which is filled with optical illusions on the walls and furnishings. Ben believes Jason was not a solitary survivor by choice because of how callously he killed Mike and did not care to save Zoe. Ben guilts Jason into claiming he killed his roommate at sea for himself to live using the red parka, based on his conduct in the game. Jason and Ben get poisoned by a psychedelic chemical when they unlock a hatch leading to the next chamber. Ben discovers the antidote injection meant for one of the recipients, and the two battle it out to the death. Jason fractures Ben's leg, but when Ben kicks him into a table corner, he is killed instantly. Ben makes his way to the final chamber. The last chamber takes the audience back to the beginning of the movie. To escape being crushed, Ben manages to confine the flames in the fireplace and utilize it as a crawlspace. He enters the last chamber and is welcomed by the Game Master, who is responsible for the escape room's design. The Game Master discusses the objective of the game, and reveals a common theme before selecting the contestants, college athletes, lone survivors, etc., and placing bets on the winners. Ben believes he may now go having won, but the Game Master attempts to kill him, in order to prevent the game's secrets from being disclosed. Zoe managed to survive, by removing an oxygen mask from her hospital bed, and threading its tubing through one of the gaps left by the deactivated cameras. When 2 cleaners enter room number 4 to destroy the evidence, Zoe pretends to be dead, then overpowers the cleaners and makes a run for it. Zoe arrives in time to save Ben, after which they both kill the Game Master and escape. Ben and Zoe are treated for their injuries, but by the time Zoe returns with the investigators, all of the evidence at the escape room facility has been destroyed. 6 months later, Zoe manages to track down the location of the Minnows escape room HQ in New York. She persuades Ben to join her, and they take a flight to New York. Unbeknownst to them, the game's designer is already one step ahead of them, plotting to trap Zoe and Ben in yet another game. He has converted their flight into a simulated escape, with a 4% chance of survival. If you like this movie, make sure to smash the like button. Want to see more great videos? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a video. Thank you so much for watching this video. Have a great day ahead and I'll see you next time.